right. We're trying out some new hardware. If this is coming in too loudly, let me know. If my voice and video are not synced up, let me know. I forgot to grab my glasses while I was upstairs a second ago. So if you guys can give me the usual... Okay. See, what's been cool, okay, is as of late, doing this series of the FT-6 build, a number of people have donated through PayPal and what have you, and a lot of really nice comments as well. So I put that money into, ta-da, the Yeti caster. I wanted to have a better microphone for a very long time because the web camera, as you guys have pointed out, it's really, really fun when I drag that tripod across the floor and you get to hear all that reverberating. So yeah, I tried to buy this at my local Best Buy. I had posted about it on my Facebook. My friends thought I was being petty, but I couldn't get anyone to wait on me. And I didn't exactly try to flag them down, but I did, for the love of God. Let me turn off my phone. Here we go. Sorry about that. So, yeah, so we're starting to look a little bit professional. I'm still waiting for another piece of hardware to show up. The part that goes to the Canon camera, that will give me a pure HDMI video source from that high-def camera. And there we go, because you guys had pointed out that during the live streams, that camera looks rather grainy because we're taking a snapshot of it and stretching it, which of course, well, what's the technical term? Looks like ass. So I did a lot of research. There's a lot of threads on YouTube and such as to, how do I get video from my DSLR? Hey, we got a subscriber. Cool. Thank you. So there's a lot of stuff, if you're trying to get your DSLR video into your laptop or PC computer, you can do it through capture cards or what have you. And it turns out that Delgado makes an external USB device. Hey, hello, let's see, JDC. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see everybody in the distance. Yeah, I think D Park and Jess is there. Yeah. So took a couple days off. I had some college studies that I had to address, a final, and I have another final this week. So, and then I have a Comic-Con this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's like, all right, I got to focus. I got to get in here, and I got to work on this. So I put everything on pause. I wanted to offer a lot of feedback to John Folger and to Chris Soros as far as the documentation. There's been some commentary in the Facebook group, and yeah, there's some frustrations. There's a few shortcomings, as we've seen in this video series, but let's also focus on the prize. There's also a lot of really good, too. So I am trying to offer my feedback as something that will improve the customer experience. Constructive criticism. When you're trying to encourage people to make changes that will help you and others, you want to say in a certain way, okay? But there are some people that, unfortunately, they get emotional and they flame, and they don't realize that they're doing more harm than good. We want the gentleman that does the document writing to like our advice and to make the changes. But if you beat him to a pulp or insult him, certainly I wouldn't have any desire to go out of my way for that guy. So there we go. Jake from State Farm, Jesse Foreman. Oh, there you go. There you go, Jess. Yeah, 713 Maker. Yeah, he fascinates me. Yeah, I like his stuff. It's just that, boy, he's had a waiting list for the longest time. And I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking like a little capitalist. If I had 100 people that wanted something that I make, I would crank around and get at that. But he had a waiting list for a long time. And I know I waited over a year for my build plate. And it was only because I happened to see he posted on Facebook one day saying, hey, I got some of these done. If you want them, they're for sale. I had put my name on for one of the bundles, and of course those bundles are just out of stock or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, he makes really great stuff. I've had a lot of people that have asked me about it, and I've seen a lot of posts on the FolgerTech Facebook group and elsewhere saying, hey, where do I get these beautiful shiny aluminum parts? And everyone kind of has the same response. Well, this 713 makes them, but unfortunately, he's either always out of stock or you just never know when he'll have them in stock. So there it is. Yeah. Well, if he has something else that's a bigger seller and a better profit margin and stuff like that, I can't blame him. Corey's making stuff for the FT-6, and I saw today he had been engaging with a few people in the Facebook group saying, if you need something, let me know. I can probably make it happen. So that's cool. So he makes some stuff from aluminum as well, and the prices are high, but I mean aluminum is too. And if you've ever tried to CNC your own stuff, he's worth every dollar. So while I got a bunch of you on here, I asked right from the get-go, I'm hoping that this new microphone, I hope I'm synced up when I clap. It really claps. I have everything going to the microphone now. The microphone has a nice base, so I can swivel around here. I got a couple cords dangling around here. 713maker.com. And as far as Corey, he is in the FolgerTech group. Barkowski, B-A-R-K, I think that's his name. Hit me up or drop me an email. I can certainly link you up with him. He's not that hard to find. Yes, I saw a lot of the Murph activity, and it looks like that was kind of the Academy Awards for 3D printing. So I saw a lot of posts come across Twitter and things like that. So yeah, it looked like a good time. So anyway, yeah, so see what I do for you guys. So the little bit of money that I got from PayPal and from YouTube in the last month, I poured into new hardware so you can hear me better. And hopefully by tomorrow, the additional components will show up and you can see me better. Not that I'll be any easier on the eyes, but I just want you guys to know that I enjoy doing this. I love the feedback from you guys, and if I can make it better, sweet. So, where I'm at with the FT-6, you may recall from our marathon build, I think it was on Friday, we got as far as getting the front LCD screen attached and lined up. I was having a devil of a time getting that to fit. The problem turned out to be the way the ribbon cables are. Maybe I have a spare set here. Nope. It's kind of the nature of my life today. I kept telling myself, I know I have a spare set of cables somewhere, but I can't find things lately, and I've been ordering like crazy on Amazon for all these pieces, and by the time they show up, what I'm looking for turns up. So there we go. But what happened was, where I left off is getting the LCD screen set up, and I'll move to that camera here shortly, is it's a very tight squeeze, and the ribbon cables that go from the MKS board to the back of the LCD, they're notched, and the ribbon, I'm trying to describe it the best way. Here we go. So let's fold this over. If the ribbon is coming down the back, okay, it's going to work great. But if it's the other way around, where you have like a taller vertical height, it doesn't clear. It's a really, really, really tight fit. So, but I'll move to that camera here and show you. I was also waiting for a couple parts to show up. One of the things I was waiting for was white, and I'll put it to the camera here. This is spiral wrap. I was going to go with black, but the printer is white, so I figured I would stick to the white theme. Again, I live in the boonies of Maine, so for whatever reason, the stuff that you guys have at your local stores, I don't have at mine. I have big box stores, but they don't have what I'm looking for. A couple of things I got kind of as a novelty. I got some of these, and I don't know if the camera's going to show them off really well because they're shiny, but these things are shrink wrap heat tubing, and they got a little bit of solder in the middle. Not that I'm planning on connecting any wires here on this printer in the near future, but there was a few spots where I was tempted. And I also got a Wagner precision heat tool, about the only Wagner tool I could ever afford. Looming looks great. Yeah, I'll do that. Tell you what I'll do. Paul, this is your past self. A note to your future self when you go to the video the next day to cue things up. Provide these guys with Amazon links to some of these goodies you bought. I'll do that. So there we go. That's been done. The other thing I got is I got more silicone wire, and I bought a bunch of 18 gauge. I don't know why it's wrapped in silver, but so be it. Because I didn't have a lot of really thin wire, so I just wanted that in case. What else did I get in here as well from my Amazon purchases lately here? that was about it. I also picked up an 80mm 2-wire fan. Okay. This is 24 volt and it has the ball bearings. And this again was another Amazon purchase. And the electronic box already has a cutout so that what you can do is if you want to add the fan, you can go ahead and bolt this right in. We have a nice lengthy wire lead here. And what we will do is we'll connect this guy to the power supply. What we're gonna do though, I think I have connectors for it, is obviously if we pull the electronics box off, we want to be able to unplug this so that we can put the back of the electronic cover someplace and not be stuck with a big long cord dangling behind it for you to trip on, or if you have felines like I do, a new toy for them. So there we go. So this is a brushless DC fan, 24 volt, 0.1 amp, so not a big thing. Now, to be clear, the drivers that are on this thing by default have heat sinks, and they're going to run fine without a fan. But we're talking about a ginormous printer, and I know all of you guys who are building these things have different ways of how you want to make this thing bigger and better than it currently is. You know, some of you guys might be thinking about adding, you know, maybe a different, you know, like a E3D solution. One of the things I saw today that really got my interest was the Black Widow or the Slice, you know, this really super lightweight print head. And if I could figure out a way how to mount one of those guys on here, or two of them with a changer, that's something that I would definitely be interested in doing in the future. But, you know, they're a lot of money. But right now, I'm just going to settle for what's on here stock. So that's my thinking. So we will add this fan to the back electronics box. I will look through my pile of stuff and figure out a way to, what I want to do is I want to take a 2-wire lead from the power supply, maybe go a couple inches, have some connectors, and then have this guy connect in from there. I'm pretty sure I have some connectors here, but you know how that goes. A couple other things that I am thinking out loud about as we proceed to the next steps. I am assuming that I have cured the binding, but we will find out when we power this thing up. The instructions, as I will show you here on the other screen when we get to them, we're basically at the last step, okay? We're basically at the point where we button up the case, plug in the USBs, and we call it good. Now, there's a few things that if you guys have built an FT5, that there's a lot of things that are going to be parallel here, okay? Because I had mentioned to John this morning saying, you know, your documentation mentions a setup guide, but when you look at the Google Drive, there is no setup guide. So he said, well, if you follow the FT5 one, it's pretty much just like that. And I was like, well, John, that's great, but a lot of these guys don't have an FT5. And he's like, oh, you know what, I got to come up with a way to fix that. So see, he's good at taking feedback. So I figured out that we do have to tune the stepper drivers. And the reason, as I mentioned, that the fan will be there because at some point I do want to swap those out for the 2208s. Those guys do run hot, so we do want to cool those. Look in the buffer if I've missed anything here. Hey, man, I'm the best. Cool. Oh, yes, yeah. You always want to be careful of those stepper drivers. Mine are still on there. But so what I did, because I know Matt is several steps ahead of me. I don't know if Matt's in the feed here or not already, but Matt has been doing test prints, and we noticed that he has layer shifts. And I mentioned to him, you know, oh, did you tune your drivers? And he's like, what do you mean? So, so we definitely got to do that. Oh, really? Deep Park's talking about issues with the heated bed. Well, that's you bring up a good point. And that's one of the little frustrations I have with the kit. And again, please understand, verbalizing or airing a frustration doesn't mean I dislike the kit or have you. Just there are two things that, you know, are a little frustrating when you get a kit of this scale. So we have a heated bed, but we have no bed surface. So I'm assuming if I'm going to do any kind of test prints, I'm printing on blue tape, I guess. I don't know. Again, that's something that'd be kind of cool to see in the documentation. Now, I did order one of those spring steel build plates that a lot of other people did a group buy on, and that should, I hope, show up later this week. But again, someone had mentioned that, well, you want to put that on top of a known good flat surface, like glass or mirror or something else. So it's like, man. And so I don't know why a build surface wasn't included. I also don't understand why, and again, this is something that all the FolgerTech printers do. There's no part cooling fan. Okay, so if I am going to order mirror or glass, that's going to take several days to get, because refer back to the part where I said I live in the boonies and it takes a while to order things. The other thing I am noticing that is AWOL, because we don't have a setup guide, is, you know, I have built printers and I have done auto bed leveling in the past, so it's not a huge deal. But for you guys, if this is your first big kit printer, and you're probably wondering, well, okay, I have a proximity sensor, but how do I tune that? And those are the questions I have, because I don't know anything about this particular make and model sensor. You know, how far should that be above the surface to do my Z offset and stuff like that? Back in the day, we had to blow on parts. I've seen people put room air conditioners or you know, great big, you know, window fans to do their prints, and the overhangs must have been outstanding on one side, but not the other. So there. I know I've seen a couple of places on Thingiverse and elsewhere where people have made some, and that will be interesting to see. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This is Mr. Z1 Power. I believe you have your FT-6 printing, and I think, Jesse, you guys have your printers working, don't you? Because let me, and again, we're not getting to any kind of printing yet or any kind of work yet, but I'm just, I want to definitely get the gray matter going here. I know with the Easy ABL, and I know with the G-Tech I got back here with a BL Touch, I know my sensors on both of those need to be between 1 and 2 millimeters off the print bed surface. I don't know anything about this proximity switch. I just know that the wires hate staying in that spring little clamp thing. So I am going to be assuming when we get to that point, it's the same story as well. The other thing that I purchased over the weekend is I purchased nylon spacers, so all of these springs would be coming out, which means, of course, we hope that the bed surface is level. So good times. So, yep, printing. Okay, guilty as charged. Good. The other question is, I don't know what you gentlemen are printing on top of. Obviously, I don't have a print surface for my printer at the moment. As you can see, it's it's still sitting here holding parts and pieces here for me. I just have the aluminum bed. So I am just guessing that the only thing I will be able to use at the moment will be blue tape. What did you miss? Well, it just means we can't talk about you anymore, Todd. Now, the glass that you have, I'm curious how much, because we know that the build plate, because I weighed it, weighs 12 pounds. Now, are you using, and I'm going to say this wrong, and you guys are within your right to make fun of me, borylite glass? Yeah, I got 3 BL touches, so I'm thinking if I have a really terrible time here with this proc sensor, I can always go to a BL touch. Okay. So you guys are using glass. Jesse's using a BL touch. Okay. And how high are you putting, so Jesse's out because he's using a BL touch. So Z1, what are you using for an offset? How high is your sensor above the bed? I'm just trying to get these numbers in my head so I know what to do for the next steps. Oh, and Todd, briefly, we were just talking about how thanks to some donations and contributions to the channel, I was able to upgrade and get a real microphone. So hopefully my buttery smooth voice sounds even better than before. Oh, okay, 2 credit card width. All right. So Z1, are you offering to read off those numbers for all of us so that we can all have those 2 credit cards? Yeah, I even went with a $13 pop filter. Of course, you know, with these idiots down here running around, I'm sure it'll wind up with cat hair like everything else. I was worried about the delay working back and forth. Boy, you guys are really throwing off some really good rapid answers. This is outstanding. Yeah. So, okay. Well, worst case, what I'll do is I'll make it, 1.5 millimeter off the bed when we get there. So, there we go. Does the bed still bind? Todd, we put that new coupler in, the KFL8, a couple days ago, and it's still a little tight around the last, I'd say 2 or 3 inches, but maybe that's something that a stepper motor will crank better than my hands. So there we go. So I'm hoping that with this microphone, it'll still pick up as I move to the other camera and we begin work on that beautiful fan. And again, yes, I'll make sure that when you catch the replay of this, when I post this video tomorrow, after I do the end screens and stuff like that and the enhanced description, I'll make sure the description has the links for the wire wrap and some of the other things that I picked up recently that I think are pretty cool. So there. Okay. This is a grand experiment, so just so you guys know, I'm hoping, let me ask you this. Is the microphone still picking me up way back here? Okay, it looks like it seems to be happy. Okay, because what we're going to do, see on the top view here, we have the usual cameras running, so you can see the mess of wires running everywhere. Let's see, the other view that we'll be going to here shortly is the one that has the electronic panel that we're going to be working on here in just a minute. I'll kick on the external light here that helps with that one. Hey, Emma. Well, I can certainly, let's see, where is my gain on this little buddy here? Okay. So the gain might be ridiculous as I'm up close, but as I move, hopefully it's a little bit better. And I got the other laptop over there as well. So, let's get some more light going over here. And again, I apologize if that's too quiet. Oh, these battery-powered lights are always a bit of a fight to get the battery in there. All right, let's light it up. And I'll try to get this guy moved over. Dun, dun, dun. Whoa! Thank you very much. Thank you, D-Park. Okay. Thank you, sir. Woohoo! Air donations. You guys are the best. Okay, so let me go back. I'm going to be paying attention on the other laptop here, so you can tell me if the audio is completely sucking out. I can switch over. Okay, so here is our fan, and I'm trying to watch from across the to the other laptop. Okay, so this is going to be. This fellow's going to go here. We want to make sure we pay close attention to where it shows the airflow. So obviously we want the airflow to be going onto the electronics. So there's our arrow. And there's also a nice little feature that came with this thing. A nice little grill. So maybe I won't clobber any wires. And let's see. I'm checking the buffer and I don't hear any people saying, Paul, I can't hear you, so I'm assuming that we're still good. can't emphasize enough, washers, washers, washers. They are, in my opinion, essential for this build. And the included screws are not going to fit because these holes, it looks like they are made for probably M3. Am I very faint again? All right, I can fix that with the, we can switch over to the web camera. Or I can boost the gain some more. Okay. The gain has been brought up another 20%. Okay, are we, good thing I have a booming voice, right? The other thing I can do too is I can probably change the audio mode here. That would help a little bit. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so with any luck, is that much better? Okay, because I just made another change to how it all works. Let's see, in my bag of hardware, I got a bunch of M4s, and I want to bet that, yeah, I wonder why he made those holes M3. Well, I can easily fix this with the power of the drill. I just, yeah. Okay, so we are heading for the wonderful world of drill bits. I'm sorry, I'm probably booming you out now walking towards the microphone. Yeah. That's the guy I want. Let's widen these guys out a little bit. Ooh, they're tight, but they will work. Okay, good, good. And let's see. Everything's good. Chat buffer says, did you? Yes. I let him know we would be live streaming tonight, and so I would not be surprised if he makes an appearance. I mean, come on, he knows we're going to be talking about him. Let's see. And I really don't think I need washers on this side because it's just so friggin' big. So let's put these guys in. And let's make sure we have the, yep. here's where I get fouled up. It's called coordination here. There we go. Hey, this is nice. They all fit very, very snugly. Push. And you can see how the fan looks. Okay, get that wire out of the way. I'm a little iffy about having this metal grill here. I'd prefer a plastic one, just in case anything makes contact with it, but I think for now this will work just fine. Well, it's interesting you say that, Z1. You're right. With the current configuration, you really don't need the case fan. But you know what? I'm gonna be eventually putting 2208s in here, and those stepper drivers do generate a lot of heat. And I'll tell you, a $12 fan is some pretty cheap insurance. As you can tell, my desk is a complete and utter disaster. Usually I have a big desk and a lot of extra room, but for some reason with this giant printer, I do not. Let's see. Nope. That would have been too good. I suppose pliers. Well, I got wires everywhere. Let's see if I can balance you like this. Oh, there goes the furnace. I'm sure you can hear the furnace now in stunning stereo sound like never before now. Guys are done. It's funny you should ask that, because today was trash day, so the FT-6 box and the 25 yards of paper packaging went with it. Then Amazon brought that microphone today and the stand, which was a lot of cardboard and packing, so they are thrilled to once again have a new toy. Okay, so it looks like everything is good here. So there is the back. Airflow goes to the sticker, and here's our wire and connect. And now the next thing I want to figure out is, how did I get all this trash up here? No, before I lose track of all this stuff here, let me put some stuff away really quick. Okay, you are M4s, so we'll put you on. And you guys are M470s. So there. Yes, the furnace and stunning HD sound. There. And now the furnace is off. So what I'm looking at now is, the fun part is getting into here again, which will probably mean having to remove this once again. Boy, I got all these extra wires that are just totally in the way. It looks like my desk. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm trying to gather things up. The other thing that I'm not happy with is I'm not happy with, yeah, I think I could be better, but I can't put my finger on how. But I would like to make it better so how the wires run off the bed. But I am at a, I don't understand, I don't know the best way to do that. Okay, these wires are trash. Now, let's see. What would be the, wouldn't it be great if I had another JST connector like this, but female, and could run that into the back? I wonder, maybe I do. Some JST connectors. Now I'm wondering what I did with them. And I know someone is saying blame the cats. Let's see. All right, guzzle a little coffee real quick. Let's move the microphone. Check the buffer real quick. How did you destroy your Prusa hot end? Off-topic conversations are welcome, especially if they're related to 3D printing and destruction. I'm just looking around for something because I know I just had this the other day. Saw it the other day. And this poor shop is sideways lately. Where did I do with you? banana. Oh, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having an elderly moment. It's like, I know I had them. What did I do with them? I, honest to God, just had these the other day. Well, I might have to use a different connector. That kind of sucks, though. I did all this work connecting everything. No. I haven't plugged it in yet. Nope. Haven't been that brave yet. I mean, I'm not worried about anything happening. I mean, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be fine, but fingers crossed, right? I just wish I didn't have to remove this door to get at the back of the power supply. Okay, one last walk around and see if I can find those connectors. Oh, I know. You know what? My R2D2 box. Real quick. good news is I got my glasses, so that'll make life a little bit easier for me. Sorry for one of you out. Found more connectors. So those will be what I need to use here. The other thing I found of interest, boy, if I could reuse that connector, that would be, as the fighter pilots call it, Sierra Hotel. There we go. Expecting a masterpiece? Oh boy. Sir, do you mock me? Well, I know the answer to that. So let's see, what do I have for connectors I can use on this thing? Nothing from the FolgerTech folks. See, I got this. I got that brand new wire I can use too. That'd be kind of snazzy. Like a bag full of zip ties. This came pouring out of here the minute I opened it. And oh look, they have it so that you can hang the box. Yeah, you can hang it and it just dispenses away. How nice. That's way more orderly than I am. Look at that silicone wire. Good, good. It's awful pretty. Wow. And it smells like China. Okay, that's done. Connectors. Let's see what pile of fun Paul has in connectors. The funny thing is I have one side. See, I have a bunch of these guys. But when they sold these to me, they sold me the wrong size blade. I mean, the hell of it, I can just put a long wire on this, but I wanted to do it right, but egad. See, to give you an idea on the large scale, you know, I wanted to you know, do something like this, you know, and have them go in like that, but for whatever reason, I don't have the, you know, wait a minute. This is getting 24 volts. I could put it on the power supply, or I could probably, now and then it's really stuck. I could attach it to the 24 volt input to the MKS board. But if I do that, anytime this comes off, you're kind of SOL. So, and I really wish I had the connector I'm looking for. And the ironic thing is, I know I've bought them at least twice. Alright, so I got a bunch of these guys. The wiring looks good, thank you. What is the best way to do this connection? all this work and I'm down to missing parts. And I was just at the store today too. What a drag. I mean, I can run without the fan, but I'm sure it'd be nice to have it all in there. The next thing that has to get installed is this fella. Has to go onto the top here. Alright, let's try to fit you in here without going crazy. Okay, you're in. And then I think these guys are self-threading. And I'm willing to bet those are 16s. Let's take a peek to be sure. Let's go to the instructions, and we can probably slide right to the very end here. Okay, that's, yeah, 2 and 3 by 16. It's going to be just the awkwardness of getting everything lined up here. Awkward is the key word here. Okay. Oh, good. It's threading. This over here, and you can see that that fella's in there. I wish it was flush. I wish there was a way it could be flush, but it sits way behind the ACM. So that is that step, and just let's go just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, that guy's in. Now this is what I was talking about right here, okay? So, what the hell happened? I must have touched something. Here we go. So, pay close attention to this, and I'm going to zoom into this here just so you guys are aware. So you really want to make sure that that ribbon, okay, is coming down and feeding out from behind like this buckle piece, okay? Because if you go the other way, if you have this wire coming across the top, it won't fit. It will not fit. It will drive you cray-cray. Been there, done that. Late Friday night, as a matter of fact. So, and another pro tip for you, just so you're aware, and this may sound stupid, but take it from Paul, who has done a lot of stupid things during this build. What's really good is before you go too far in these steps, use your smartphone and take a picture of the back of the PCB, take a picture of the back of the screen, because if you have to unplug these cables, you might have to sanity check yourself and go, well, wait a minute, which one is EXP1, which one is EXP2? So that's why I took pictures of the MKS board, I took pictures of the drivers, I took pictures of the back of the LCD, things like this. It's a whole lot easier to refer to a picture than take this apart and wonder, oh God, what did I do here? And as you guys have witnessed during this video series, Paul has done that repeatedly. Is the word cray cray on your nerves? I'm sorry. One of my coworkers says it all the time, and it's rubbed off on me, so I fault her. Alright, so I am no longer allowed to say cray cray. That's okay. So this step has been done, and we have the USB port in there. Now these steps are for the RPI, the Raspberry Pi, and I didn't do this. I didn't do it, one, to save money, and number two, if you run Touch UI on a Raspberry Pi, that takes up some processing load on the Raspberry Pi, and if you have an 8-bit board, the Raspberry Pi can only go so fast pulling information from the USB port. There's been a lot of discussion on the Octoprint forums as well about that, because some people have noticed when they try printing faster, they notice they get defects and the prints aren't as good. And there's been a couple of long discussions where people have mentioned saying that if you're using an MKS board or these 2560s or any of these 8-bit boards, because of the I/O control they have, they can't keep up. So if you go over 45, 50 millimeters a second on your print speed, the I/O on your 8-bit board can't keep up. And if you're running additional tasks on top of the processor, like, for example, Touch UI, where you have these displays attached, that's more burden for the processing. It's a little bit controversial, but the reading I've done on it has convinced me that I'm quite happy dedicating the Raspberry Pi to just be, that's all it does. I connect to it via the web interface and call it good. So here we see, this is the configuration process that's done, and it says, oops, what did he find? The cats are having a field day down here. So you are ready to set up and configure your printer. The setup guide can be found at the Google Drive link, and will walk you through the steps of installing the PC software and the firmware. Unfortunately, that document does not exist. So to those gentlemen like Z1 and others who have their printers up and running, it's probably because they have the experience from doing this in previous builds. For those of you that have never done this kind of stuff before, it could be a little daunting. So we're going to jump into that here very shortly. So let's throw you back at the top view here. I kind of like saying cray cray, but I'm a victim of my audience. And yes, I am taking one more walk around my shop trying to find out what I did with those connectors, because I know I have them. All right, Theodore, what do you have? You are swatting something all over the shop and it's making noises. All right, let's take a look one more time. I am certain I had that stuff, and I really want to do that connector right. Other thing I mentioned I wanted to do is inside this giant tub here. These are my nylon spacers. Let's see. So we are going to 1, 2, 3, we're going to remove those springs and replace them with solid spacers. We're hoping that the bed surface is flat and the bed leveling should, with any luck, with the probe anyway, should make a mesh that compensates for that. And before these guys go rolling everywhere, let's put them in this little tray here. Then there's a drill here that needs to be fixed. Okay, trying to be really good about putting my tools away here. Power cord, which will come in very handy here shortly. Test filament, which, yeah, right. Let's see. Now, behind here is all this. Let's kick over to this camera here. So we are going to spring can go back in there. Tweezer is going to be the best tool for this. Am I going to upgrade to a duet board? You know, I was talking to John about that. He likes the smoothie board, and we were also talking about the duet. Paul Murphy, who's active on the Facebook group, just got his duet board working, and like a lot of other people, we were all wondering what's the magic to making that work. So we're hoping that he will share his configuration so that others can follow his footsteps here on how to get that to work. Because the Wi-Fi is a very popular, I'm sorry, the duet Wi-Fi is a very popular upgrade. Okay, that's out, that's out, that's out. And getting these springs out is a whole bunch of fun. Boing. So, am I going to do that? I don't know. I think the first mistake I made was tightening up something. So let's keep everything loose until they are all in there. Now I'll make lifting this up a bit easier. Let me. I was hoping Mr. Folger would join us tonight, but maybe he's watching The Voice or something. Okay, that one's in. Yeah, well, I saw the, I'm glad you're chatting. It was pretty quiet here for a minute. I saw the web configurator, and it started talking about Cartesian and some other stuff, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And there's enough people that have been talking about that upgrade where I thought, well, maybe someone's done a YouTube video or something on how that's done. Or, you know, if I had the basic details, you know, I would love to learn how to do it and then share with others how to do it. Okay, I am hopeful that this thing with those spacers is going to be nice and level. Okay, the other side. Theo, you're right smack in the way, aren't you? Alright. And these nylon spacers are, I don't remember exactly how tall they are, but they're all the same. I bought about 20 from my local hardware store at 40 cents a piece. Probably could have got a bag on Amazon for about $1, but I was tempted to go to aluminum, but of course aluminum would heat up, probably deform. Theo, you are totally in the way. Go. I don't know how you got up there, but you need to get out of there. And this guy. time to tighten them all up. We will find out just how flat this bed is. And since we don't have a bed surface, I guess we'll have to resort to blue tape. Looking at the buffer here. Oh, is there a actual just FT5 or I'm sorry, is there a specific do it Wi-Fi group just for the FolgerTech printers? Or rather, is there a do it Wi-Fi group I should be checking in on? Okay. Bed is all tightened up. Looks like I had just enough. Right. Yep, you are correct. And I got another back, or zip ties. Okay, let's move some stuff here. So I gotta get the multi-tester out of the way because we'll be using that to tune the stepper drivers here shortly. My connectors still haven't turned up. I don't know the best way to get that fan in there. I really don't need it, but darn, I'd like to do that. I'm kind of really bummed out that I can't find that connector. The crimper and this can go in. So it's not lost. Okay, multi-tester will be needed. I might not get as far tonight as I was hoping. Yeah, the gentleman that I was mentioning, I think it was Paul Murphy, that I was reading about. He has a he says he has a working configuration, so he would definitely be our guy to talk to. Yeah, I got a small sample of filament. Put it next to my other samples I have over here. I do have some other build surfaces I could use in a pinch, I guess. I got the TiVo Tornado one, and I got the one that came with the i3 Mega. That's kind of funny. Okay. Just checking one last spot. Oh, the connector I thought I had is a male and I needed a female. What was the other one I had? I have a connector pack, but they are, they're all male. Boy, this is the thing. You accumulate all these parts for these 3D printers, and lots of parts, but not the one you need. Okay, let's... You guys have gotten quiet on me. I must be that soothing background music here for you. Let's see. Okay, this is actually a good find. But not what I'm doing tonight. These are quick slice connectors. Those aren't going to help me. So I think everything is largely done. Power cord here. Can I untangle that? Twist tie in the trash, otherwise the felines will get into it. Who did you, or I'm sorry, where did you order your duet from? Something. AliExpress, good luck. Yeah, I've gotten a few things from them. All right, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Obviously, I want this to be removable, but it looks like upon rummaging around over here, I don't have any connectors that are going to suit the purpose. Hey, hey, hey. Cats. Okay, so I got that connector, that wire's over there. Yeah, you must not have been in a hurry if you got it from AliExpress there, boy. They certainly take their time. knocked fans had some extenders, but not the ones I thought they were. I should have found this before I started the video. Sorry, guys. 2 weeks? Oh, that's not terrible. Molly. What did we do with it, Molly? I have searched this shop high and low trying to find those wretched things. So I guess the fan will just have to not be connected at this time. And I can hear the cat running around. Check the litter box, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, man. He is totally... He's on fire tonight. Yeah, I can already hear him knocking over the water bowl upstairs and knocked over his bowl of food. And get a kitten, they said. It'll be fun. That's one of the things I was looking for. My ceramic screwdriver. I wanted to do that for adjusting the voltage on these steppers. Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, the thing, I'm sorry, I'm right next to that microphone, so I'm probably cutting in very loudly. Here's my frustration. I really want to button this thing up and be largely done with this step. And then, let's see, I got to figure out on the back of the board, X, Y, E0, E0, ZY, okay? And then I gotta find my notes, because actually I need to download that might be a really good opportunity to find something really quick. The FT-5, actually I do have a wireless lapel mic, but it's downright awful. The FT-5, let's pull up the FT-5 manual really quick here. I really wish Adobe would stop opening up in that mode. Alright, so we need to go skimming way through all this crap. I don't remember off the top of my head what the, I know we flipped the voltages, I just don't remember what they are. Okay. Scrolling, here we go. So we want the Y and the extruder to be between 0.7 and 0.9, and the X and the Z 0.9 to 1.2. Alright, That's assuming the little thing boots up and doesn't smoke. Side panel off so that at a future date, when I have the right connectors, like tomorrow, I can actually plug this guy in. Let's see, I should have a spare power cord. Yep. Let's move the camera so we can witness the power up here. Oh, the amazing fireworks that ensue. Okay, so let's go over here. I got his stuff in the background. Alright guys, we're going to plug it in, and with any luck, things light up. Okay, we have green lights. Maybe lower this a little bit here. I don't smell smoke, so hooray! She's powered up. And the LCD screen is blank because it does not have any firmware. Let's see. So now the fun part. Let's move some of this junk out of the way here. So now we have to do the wonderful world of steppers. Fire, no sparks, no smoke. Okay, so and again, here's where it's fun. The let's move this water. Getting at the adjustments on the very first one is going to kind of suck. This thing is this crap is right in the way. It's really kind of ticking me off how so much of this printer is its own problem. Okay, so let's see if I can get at this thing here without. Yeah, that is not a lot of fun to try to work around. There we go. So let's see, let's get a negative. So right now it is at 0.6. And that is one of our extruders. Okay, let me put this so it's a little bit more interesting for you guys. The ceramic screwdriver, we'll use that to try to get in there. See if this, oh, stay positive, Paul, stay positive. But I tell you, some of this design is a little short-sighted for if you actually need to get at it. Alright, so negative lead. Did I actually make any changes on that thing? Nope. So I literally can't get this screwdriver in pat. I'm going to have to move this god damn panel. So, if you're going to make pretty little things like this, and unfortunately they're going to be part of the frame support, a dang ball buster later on down the line. Pardon my frustration, but geez, you know, the electronics box needs to be free. Alright, let's see if that moved it. And I'm sure there's going to be other people out there to say, I was able to get at it just fine. I brought it up 0.03. Dagnabbit. Alright. Okay, that feels like it was a pretty good turn. Yeah, I know. See, even I rant. I just, it's pretty, but sure makes setting up pretty stinking hard. All right, let's see. Where's my negative? Here's the number 3. 0.94. Of course, now too high. If I had if my multi-tester had the alligator probes, it'd be way easier because I could have the alligator holding on to this and I could see in real time, you know, what the setting is. Oh, I'm sorry. But if I had the alligator clip, for example, you know, something like this, I could actually have it on the metal screwdriver, okay, and I could see as I was turning, you know, what I was at. But doing it with the ceramic screwdriver is a nice safety feature. Okay, let's go again to my negative. 0.89. Jeepers creepers. Number 3. .83, very good. Hey, come on, you knuckleheads. Why am I trying to talk to cats? I'm going crazy. Okay, so 0.8, I should probably be jotting this down. I tell you guys, the next time I catch you cats napping, you guys will whoa the day. Okay. Yeah, note to self, buy myself one of those air horns because revenge will be mine. Alright, so just a little sanity check here. I'm just going to write down the voltages. Alright, so that was, let's go in this order, E1, E0. And then it's Z1, and then, oops. Yeah, just because I'm, so 0.83. These are the 49 something somethings. That was that for specific, huh, right? Alright, let's go back to my negative. Let's go check out what this guy is. 0.20. Well, it's nice to know that they're, and as you can see, I am indeed documenting as I go. Come on. Yeah, you get in there and you feel like you're moving, but sometimes you're not. There we go. And it doesn't take a lot of movement. 0.68. Here's my furnace in lovely high definition sound. 0.73, and I want you to myself, wouldn't it be funny if I hit the same one? Okay, so remember the extruders need to be between 0.7 and 0.9, and then let's see, Z and X have to be between, actually I'm going to myself when I would be between 0.91 and 1.3. Okay, so now we are working on, just looking at my laptop here to see if I missed anything in the chat buffer. I apologize for the background noise, but that is my furnace. Okay, we're now looking at Z, which has to be what? You're a pain in the rear end, cat. Okay, so where's my Z? Right here. And we know that's gonna have to go up a good bit, so let's see how close I can to getting to, oh, I guess 1.2. Oh God, 1.19. I'm going for it, man. My price is right, I'm spinning the wheel. I'm gonna go over it, Bob. I guess 1.23 it is for the Z axis. Okay. Now we know that Y, which is our, oh look at that, I got Ethernet cables all lit up. That's kind of cool. Just noticed that looking up there. And let's verify that is Y, so let's give you a little twist while I'm looking at you. .02, a little too much of a twist. .86, all that good. Okay, X, of course, are the these are our big motors up top, and those are going to have to be between 0.9 and 1.3. So let's go ahead and give you a good little twist. Get off the laptop, you little, Fedor, I am totally going to clobber you. .29. I'd like to get that a little lower. So let's give you a little half twist. Not sure that really spun or not. We'll double check. Oh, it did. 1.11. Did. And I'm going to give you a slight shove back. Just because I don't like the idea of we're going for 1.2. I can 1.23. I just wanted those guys to be as close as possible to be the same. All right. So stepper drivers have been configured. Yeehaw. So now something is going to work properly, right? Ha. Now, next part is going to be the USB connection. Oh boy, I don't know if I have enough cord. But at least this phase of the process is done. How am I doing on time? Oh, 10:30 already? Eek. Hello, CNC Evolution. The printer is currently turned on. I am seeing Ethernet lights on one axis, but I'm not seeing anything on the other. I don't know if I should or not. Up here, that guy is lit up. And if I go back to, let's see, we have a blank display. Okay, there's our cord. Boy, I should be doing this with an Octoprint server. That'd probably be a little bit easier. But and I'm probably flushed out of USB ports, aren't I? We shall see. Oh, maybe, maybe not. Actually, we're about ready to look at the firmware. So let's, so now that we have that guy off the screen here, yeah, may as well close all tabs. Yes, we got it. We're kind of on our own here. We're kind of going into something I don't know what to expect here. So let's do this. Let's fire up Arduino. Let's go to the screen over here. Let's see. Let's go under FT-6. Marlin. I made a few small changes as far as how a few things work, but on the screen over here. I don't know how this is going to work as far as a maximum view here, but first thing I can think of is that first of all, this does not fit the entire screen very well. At least on mine. The other thing I got to do is I have to bring up the text size. Come on, TV. Okay, you can go away. Alright, let's at least get this guy stretched out so we can see the error messages. Alright, let's go into a few quick preferences here. There we go. That must be a whole lot easier for everybody to see. Pinch, configuration.h. These are all the default settings that came. I only made a few changes as far as the bilinear and some other stuff, but this should be ready to go anyway. Let's see what happens here. sending it over. And we still have to configure the hot end. We still got to configure the probe. So much stuff. I don't know if we'll get to this tonight. Waiting to get to the point where it says uploading. You'll see that in the lower left hand corner right now. It says compiling sketch. Assuming we don't get any error messages. Oops, sorry about that on the microphone. So the firmware is, okay, so it's writing, so that means we should be seeing blue lights over there, and there they are, blinking away. Go away, Theodore. You are a total butthead tonight. So once those blue lights start blinking, we should have a printer booting. Out of the way. Doobie doobie doo. Well, the MKS board comes. Oh, look at that! I have a display screen now. Okay, the upload is complete. And now what you can see here is there it is. Alright, so it's a very limited menu too. That ticks me off. Oh, and what do you know? We're dealing with another one of these reverse knob things, so I gotta find that. Okay. Prepare. Yeah, so to go down is left. Alright, so let's go back. I know it's a Marlin setting, I just gotta find it. And this screen is, unless you're directly in front of the screen, it's it can be a little tough to remove access. Okay. Let's move X 10 millimeter. Huh. All right. So X is already all the way over here. So let's try something else. Can I do a, I go to prepare. This menu is driving me crazy with the buttons going the wrong way. Here we go, disable steppers, thank you, that's what I'm looking for. Alright. So, yeah, I don't feel bad. If you're in front of a screen, you can't see anything either. It's just, honestly, that's as good as it gets. Yeah, so, this is one of those LCDs where unless you're directly smack right in front of it, it's hard to see stuff. Alright, I am going to cheat a little bit. we are going to open up Simplify 3D. Oops, I'm going to try to move this microphone a little bit here. Here we go. Because I'm probably blaring away in your ear. It's interesting that it wanted a home in the direction where there is no limit switch, so I wonder if that needs to be reversed, but I'm not going to get too carried away here. Okay, I want Simplify 3D to be opened up on that other screen. Let's drag you over. No, come on. Play nice. All right, let's go to... I need to turn off the Marlin because that's going to take up the COM port otherwise. So we're done with Marlin for the moment. Let's go under Tools, Machine Control Panel. Okay, it looks like they're talking already. All right, let's see what happens when we move some controls. Let's see. You're connected? Yep. Well, that's not a happy sound. Okay, I don't know why that is unhappy. Let's try X. Okay, it looks like X is reversed. Why is my Y not happy? Maybe it's because... What in the world is this? Why is this thing unhappy? Belt slip, well, I don't know. Let me give you the top view here. So I'm just trying to, let's see, let's play with Y. So Y is pretty much saying, nope, I'm done. Probably because I'm hitting a stopper. Yeah, probably. My bad there. So I'll go, all right, let's do this. Let's disable motors. All motors are disabled. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm starting to get the impression that a couple of these things might be reversed. Okay, I gotta get this guy out of here. Getting these little stoppers out after the fact are tons of fun. All right, let me see. Did I get you out? Nope, but you lifted up. Good. Okay, one red stopper is out. Okay, let's get the other one out of here. I'm a little concerned about the one on this side. You might want to go completely off the edge. But I'm going to put them right here just to be very loosely anyway. The other ones are out. Okay. So, anyone, let's see, can't see anything on the other screen. All right, so let's do this. Let's enable motors. Okay, so Y should be going in the positive direction, and it is. What happens if I try to home Y? Oh my God, it did home. Okay. What if I try to home X? Okay, first thing I've learned is these wires are a little too tight, so those guys have got to move. Okay. That's interesting. So belts look okay, and I'm not going to do home Z because obviously I don't have a limit switch on Z. However, I want to see how Z does on going, and let's go back to the my roaming camera here. Let's see how well it does going down 10 millimeter. Oh, come on. Here we go. Connect you back up. I panicked and hit emergency stop when I wasn't sure how far that homing was going to go. Okay, so Z, go down 10. Or is this not going to do anything until I... Come on. There we go. Motors are enabled. Okay. Hey, good news. I am seeing temperature readings. All right, I'm not seeing any movement on my... Okay, so Z is, when I tell it to go positive 10, it's going negative. So that's a problem. I'm just going down 10 at a time. I just want to tempting fate here, just making sure I can get all the way down there, manually anyway. Oh, hearing some noises. Look at that. Okay, so let's go, let's see, up. Okay, let's bring you up 100. I see one issue right away that I don't like is over here I gotta put a sticky or something to hold it up. I don't want the lead screw touching those thermistor wires, so or just put it more flush up here, which is that should be an easy fix. The other thing I gotta fix in the firmware or somehow. Again, I'm going negative Z to go up, and that should be positive. Yeah, and I'm drawing a blank where in the... no, why aren't you going higher than that? Do you not think that you're that tall a printer? That's interesting. So I'm going to have to look at the... okay, so here, let's disconnect. And let's go back to our Marlin. Okay, let's I don't know why it's not going any higher than it is. Well, actually, you know what? I should have looked at the machine settings. But let's go to configuration H. Okay, who is still on the feed and has theirs running? Because I'm trying to recall the direction. If I have to make a positive and negative, because my Z seems to be reversed. Let's see, looking through here. That's PID, that's all good. That's my thermals. This is my end stops. It's not the inverting I'm looking for. Okay, that's 4988s. Movement settings. No, as the bed raises up, that's positive numbers. Well, wait a minute. No, that's right. I'm just trying to... Okay, these are my steps per unit. My feed rate, acceleration, default jerk. Bale touch. Okay, here we go. Size of the bed, X, Y, Z max position is 400. Okay. So those are set correctly. Okay. And this menu is so freaking limited. I want to find out the... Alright, I gotta check something in Simplify 3D one more time. I'm drawing a blank. It's because it's almost 11 o'clock at night. Okay, so let's go back to the tools. Machine control panel. Okay, so right now it thinks it's at 0, 0, 0. But if I want to go up 10, well, you know what? That might be correct because the bed is going down, so now the object that's being printed would be 10 millimeters higher. So the kick here is we haven't homed. Let's home X. Okay, home, that's good. Y. Why does it sound like I'm launching a rocket over there? Do I have cables in the way? No. Okay, I'm curious because I'm not touching the limit switch. Curious, I don't have Ethernet lights. That's interesting. I don't know what to make of this. Boy, I really wish this thing had a manual that tells me how to configure this some more. So if I go Y10, okay, and then if I say home Y, home is right smack. It's not going to the limit switch. Okay, so for poops and grins, okay, let's move Y over 10 degree or 10. Okay, and if I tell Y to go over 10. Okay, now if I go to home Y, it sits right there. If I hit home X, okay, that hit the limit switch and went back. All right, well, let's try to home Y now. And home Y just keeps on moving. Why? I've never seen a printer do this. Well, you are totally an in the way cat tonight. All right. I am stumped. And I have a cat in the way. Yeah. You're being a little heathen tonight. Okay, I'm just looking at the screen here, trying to figure this out. Oh, hi. Yeah, thanks. Hopefully the microphone isn't too booming here. So I'm looking at the machine control panel here, and yeah, she's. I'm sure she's back here just hating every minute of this. Yeah. What are you doing? All right, you can stay for a second. So I don't understand why it's not homing to the y-axis. And I don't understand why the Ethernet is not showing lit up. Can't home Z. I don't have a limit switch on Z. I got a probe, remember? No, you go true. Yeah, I can hit home. Well, let me move my glasses here. Home Z and see if it moves up. Yeah, that'd be a good point. Yeah, so the good news is home Z is going in the right direction. So we've solved one issue. Oh, I'm sorry, the gain on this is probably still way. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. close. Emergency stop didn't work. I was pushing that button like crazy, going stop, 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 stop. There we go. Yeah, that was some good advice. Okay, so a couple things of interest. The cabling is definitely going to need some, well, it's a couple things that raising this bed has made me aware of. Okay, so first of all, we're going to break out some more of these guys. Oh, can something go right tonight? Thank you. Boy, it's been the night of missing cable connectors and Okay, so I have big respect for people that have gotten theirs printing, and they are smarter people than I am, because man, I have questions. But it powered on. Alright, so I got one, and I gotta put another one down here. And I'm just using these little cord clips, I guess you call them. So I guess the Z is proper. I don't understand why the Y-axis is not homing. And I do not have lights on my Ethernet jack. And I don't want I'll put you about here. There. It's not terribly pretty, but I don't want that getting caught in that lead screw. No, being a beta tester, yeah. Alright, so this thing's on. Well, that's just it. I don't know how many commands I can really do from this thing. If I go to prepare, I can move axis. Extruder 1, 2 is showing up good. Okay, move. I do not have a way to home individual access in here. And if I bring Z up, it's going to crash. Where is my... dudes back up. See why still Okay, let's bring Z down some. Interesting. Okay, so now what Z says it's at 100.60. Okay. So that's interesting. Alright, so a couple of things that I am noticing that are a little concerning and I just don't know what to make of it. Let me... Let's see. That's why. Okay, so that's moving pretty well. I guess a couple of questions I have is, as I look at the top here, again, I got the RJ45, which I am not getting any, I don't have any lights. However, the fact that I'm getting sensor readings from both the printhead and the, I'm getting data, because I'm showing the temperature of both the bed and the printhead are 18 and 17 degrees Celsius. We don't care about the bed, but at least from here, these white wires run through this, and it's telling us what the data is on that. So, okay. I was expecting the Ethernet to blink or something. I don't understand why that's not homing at this position back over here. Yeah, I got questions I'm gonna have to post and ask questions about. And I hate that Marlin default menu is so freaking limited. And I haven't heard from my friend Keith in 2 weeks, who's my Marlin guru. He's kind of vanished on me. So this printer is making various noises. Okay, so just observing here, the hot end fan is running. That's supposed to. I don't know. It's a quirky little machine so far. I'm hearing the weirdest sound effects. It sounds like things are powering up or winding up, then they power down. I don't know. Yeah, it's silent at the moment, but I'm at a bit of a loss at the moment. Okay, let's go back to my view. Hello. Oh, you know what? If I'm standing and I get that big giant light behind me, that's not a lot of fun for you guys. All right, let's get this down here. And maybe, there we go. Probably turn off that LED light package back here. All right, well, so we're powered up. There we go. We were connected. We are now disconnected. I'm going to put an octo print on this guy. I'll probably set up a print tonight. Actually, I did print a green one, so there we go. Yeah, I got a lot of questions. Well, it does have home all from the control box, but the first thing it goes after is Z, and I discovered you got to be really quick to get that off of there because you know, I'm not comfortable having it doing any Z homing until I get that probe set up. But yeah, I just I can't put my finger on it. Well, I mean, I'm a little frustrated because I'm frustrated that I wasn't able to get the whatchamacallit all squared away, the fan. I'd like to have that all sealed up. But yeah, I just really wish that there was a setup guide like the FT5 had, because this is the hard part of the configuration right here, you know. And again, not to beat them up on the documentation, but the documentation says refer to the setup guide for the next steps, and there are no next steps. So that's you know, boo. kind of stinky, right? So yeah, I mean, I could do the prepare and auto home and just be really quick on that power switch and see what happens here. All right. Yeah, that one is not working. Let's shut you down. Yeah, so it is not homing on the that's not my X, my Y. Yeah, I keep thinking like the FT5. I keep having to reverse. It's like talking on my hands. Time for a duet. Well, I mean, duet wouldn't matter. I mean, we still have to set up the firmware to make it all work. So, you know, the duet would have, well, it would have quieter steppers for sure. But yeah. So I've got to get the for sure, I got to get my Z offset programmed so that when this thing wants to auto home Z, I'm not worrying about this thing crashing into the nozzle. So that's one step I have to do probably tomorrow night. So we'll work on setting up that probe. I'm gonna see if I can ask John a few more questions about, hey, you know, what's, you know, there's no information on this probe. You know, should it be 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter? I'm a by the book guy, you know. Requires no firmware changes, install software. Well, there you go. Well, get yourself an FT-6 and show us how it's done. I don't know what to tell you. I do need to heat up the hot end and seat that brass nozzle. Otherwise, if I try doing a print, we're going to have goo everywhere. I also need to look around, and I'm sure there's something on Thingiverse. I need to find a part cooling fan and duct because, well, frankly, something should be there. But yeah, I'll probably post my questions. I'll mull them over. Then tomorrow morning, I'll post them on the Facebook group and say, hey, here's where I'm at, and here's what I don't know or understand. The Ethernet light, I'm a little stumped by. I'm getting data, but I don't know what I should be looking for. Should I be seeing any kind of activity on the probe as far as, you know, a power indicator light or whatever, or do I only see a light when it's in use, you know, things like this. So there. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep that hot end. That's a lot of Bowden tubes, and I just think this printer would do really well with a direct drive setup. I mean, he's still got to run a lot of tubing to feed the filament in there, but we'll see how stock works for right now. Oh, John Thompson says, as I said earlier, okay, I'm sorry, I must have missed it, between arguing with cats and trying to find these stupid connectors, which I thought for sure I had, but I'll stop at the, you know what'll be even better? I should probably stop at the auto store. like an O'Reilly's or whatever. I might have better luck there than the Lowe's where I keep on going. But yeah, I'll look for that dual extruder for the FT-6. Is that using a 50-15 fan or a radial fan? But I'll check that out. So there it is. All right, so 11:16 p.m. There we go. Just about bedtime for me. Probably get a start on this again tomorrow after I get some more information on the steps that how far I've made it, and maybe a little sanity check. I'll check in probably with a couple of the guys that have their FT-6s up and running. So yeah, it took a little while to get where we're at. The firmware upload went okay. A little disappointed that the menus are as limited as they are on the LCD screen. I'm just so used to everything being there, like with all my other, TiVo and CR10 and other printers. And I'm not super savvy with Marlin as others are, so I need to fish in there. Maybe I should compare between my other firmwares that Keith helped me out with and a few others and see what needs to be turned on, because I do like the idea of having everything enabled on there. I did enable the M500, so if I make any changes via that control knob, which by the way I need to reverse. I don't like the idea of turning left when you turn right on a lot of these settings. So there we go. Sorry, a little bit of a ramble. Thanks for watching tonight. I am going to say a good night. I'm glad you got this far. To those of you that made it this late into the video, I didn't do an introduction or anything, but hi, I'm Paul. We're Nerdy is Cool. And yeah, I'm going to do some research and mull over the results I've had so far tonight. Hope the new microphone proved to be a nice improvement to your listening. Tomorrow I believe the adapter shows up for the Canon, so we'll have high def video that's a little bit better than what you're looking at right now. And maybe we can get this thing printing by tomorrow. That'd be nice. Like I said, I'm used to messing around with a lot of these CR10s and TiVos and the Ultimakers and the G-Tech. This configuration, like I said, usually when I home all axes, there we go. It works fine. But this one is definitely, it's not even making it to the end stop. And I just, it's late at night and I had that mental block. So we'll stop there and call it good. So if you like the video, if you like my tutorials, if you like this whole series, feel free to give me a thumbs up in the section below. Patreon.com/where nerdy is cool. You can support me there. There's also a link in the description if you want to throw me a couple of bucks via PayPal. There's also the super chat function right there. So many of you guys have done that, and that's why we have this new high definition microphone. So thank you guys for doing that. And I'm going to wrap it up and say goodnight. Thanks for watching. And remember, this is where nerdy is cool. Stay nerdy. We're going to get this working tomorrow. All right? Catch you later.